Good afternoon. This is Gregarious Jen, and there is something that's been on my mind that I would like to address. Something that seems omnipresent throughout the transgender community and the LGBTQIA community as well. What I'm speaking about is the ongoing infighting within the transgender community. Let me also add, at a later time I will discuss the ongoing struggle between the transgender and LGBT communities as well. When I first got the courage to begin attending regular transgender support group meetings, I believed that all transgender people had various topics and experiences we could all bond over. There's our gender journey, different forms and stages of transitioning, our goals for our journey, how we trans women and trans men can explain to each other what to expect hormonally as we grow into ourselves. I figured we could bond over our struggle for equality, discrimination, issues with significant others, distant relatives, parents, friends, and general society. What I discovered was something much, much worse, and it has been gnawing at me for some time. My perception is that there is still a separation of people of darker complexion and white transgender populations, and that the racism that existed before exists still. Also, that many trans women have a phobia of trans men and will flat out not date them even though they face the same form of discrimination from cisgender males. Furthermore, our community has attempted to reduce our complex identities to singular factors of conflict, such as younger versus older, earlier versus later transitioners, showgirls versus activists, straight versus queer, passable versus non-passable, pre versus post-operation, as we compete to control the political discourse. However, from what I've seen is that control of the discourse tends to be from older white transgender women with limited involvement from transgender men or other communities. With transgender issues increasingly becoming a focus of the media, it is imperative that we tell the whole story. So why is there so much infighting within the transgender community? I'm going to give you my theories and ideas on the subject, but I want you to have some input as well. At the end of this video, either email me at gregariousgen@gmail.com or visit the Gregarious Gen Facebook page and let's continue this discussion. As I was saying, why is there so much separation within the transgender community? A possibility that recently occurred to me is that there is no whole transgender community. We have the same segregation and class system that you find in the cisgender world. It is as if once the initial coming out honeymoon is over, our commonality dissipates. For example, people of darker complexion face a much higher rate of racial violence. Most recently in San Francisco, we saw the Black Lives Matter organization pull out of the San Francisco Pride Parade because of the increased police presence in the wake of the Orlando shooting. An official statement from the Black Lives Matter organization reads, "For us, celebrating Pride this year meant choosing between the threat of homophobic vigilante violence and the threat of police violence. We had a tough decision to make, and ultimately we chose to keep our people safe by not participating in any event that would leave our communities vulnerable to either." Community Grand Marshal designee Janetta Johnson, who is a black transgender woman and activist, stated that "I am more afraid of police than terrorists." Personally, I understand the reason behind an increased police presence in the wake of Orlando. The statements made by Black Lives Matter organization and Ms. Johnson lend credence to the fact that people of darker complexion that happen to be transgender are the most marginalized and victimized community within the LGBTQIA. It is our responsibility as a community to focus on our similarities and not our differences, and begin building a trust that has been lost. It's our responsibility to protect each other, work together on solutions for the more marginalized communities, and ensure that we get their input and participation in creating those solutions. Throughout our history, when have we ever been able to solve a problem by ignoring it, doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results, or comforting ourselves with the age-old adage, "That's just the way it is"? Ignoring or excusing the infighting that has been occurring throughout the transgender community only makes it worse and allows the problem to grow into something so much more dangerous: acceptance. That is part of the transgender problem. We have accepted the distinctions and the infighting between younger and older, earlier and later transitioners, showgirls and activists, straight and queer, passable and non-passable, pre versus post, white versus other, and allowed that to become the norm, allowed that to become business as usual. Community. That's what we like to call ourselves. Maybe that's not what we should call ourselves anymore. Maybe population is a better term. It still signifies a grouping of people, but there's no pressure for unity, commonality, no necessary feelings of fellowship, or no need to acknowledge each other, even in time of peril. We could all act in a free-for-all manner like they do in scary movies. Steadily, one by one, we creep away to check out a noise, assuring the others we'll be fine, only to be picked off by some axe-wielding cannibal making a stew. What the transgender community needs to recognize is that the scenario I just described is currently ongoing. With our failure to come together after increased transgender mortality rates, suicide rates, Orlando, our disjointed populations have become carrion for political predators and religious extremists to steadily pick us off. We cannot fight off any predators while in a segregated community. This lack of community is something that I do not accept and seek to change. All this frivolous infighting has done is make us less organized and appear fragmented to those that wish to harm us. We need our LGBTQA community to fight with us and for us. We need our family members, significant others, friends, and allies, as well as the transgender community to unite with each other. All of us must take a stand against bullying, against hate crimes, against misinformation, against the very things the status quo has stood for. The transgender community can no longer be the bargaining chip for the LGBT community to discard in the face of political opposition in order to gain more equality. A solution that we've been working on with a few other community leaders, at least for now, from various LGBTQIA groups, resource centers, and allies, is to create community building events. We will hold our first event on the first or second Saturday in August, and it is going to be an event that includes everybody. Some of you watching this video will be contacted shortly since you are leaders of your respective groups, and we will need your active participation in the ongoing discussions and planning meetings. We are not naive enough to believe that this one event will magically unite the LGBTQIA, family members, religious groups, allies, or even Republicans and Democrats. But what this will provide is an open and fun atmosphere to learn more about each other and come together as the family that we were meant to be. This event is not going to be a rally or call to arms, and there will be minimal educational information presented. What this event will do is provide opportunities to ask questions or to listen to those on a different path. It will allow friendships to grow and to humanize other communities of people. It will allow us to become closer and find where our paths intersect and move forward together in an attempt to ensure equality for all people. As Abraham Lincoln once said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect the house to fall, but I do expect it will cease to be divided. Thank you.